Hey students, Coach Shadwin here. I wanted to jump on the charts and just give you a trade recap on Euro USD. Now, I know some of you might be watching this on YouTube, and if you are, then this is an example of what we kind of do for our students and how we kind of break down how a trade could have been done or taken so that you can better understand the concepts that we teach. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth in this particular video, but I'm going to show you overall how we would have looked at it if we were looking to take the short and if we were looking to take the long. So join me on the charts and let's have a look at what we could have done today with the euro. Okay, so as you can see over here, this is the euro chart. And so what you want to always do is do top-down analysis. So I started my day off on the daily. Now, granted, I didn't take both of the trades. I took the long, not the short. But we're going to kind of look at that now. So I'll start my day off on the daily, sometimes even on the weekly. All depends on what I believe is playing out at the moment. So for our mastermind students, you will recognize something I'm doing right now by going up and choosing that swing and choosing that low and just moving to where current price is at that particular time. Right, and that will then frame for me the daily range that I am in, and I'm aware that I'm on the weekly, but that frames for me the daily range, right, that I am in. So now that I have my daily range framed out, I know whether or not I am high on the range or low on the range using some of the other criteria that we do. With that being said, I'll go over to my daily chart. And now on my daily chart, I notice that this little swing up is my last area before price drop, before price came into it, right? That's my last area before price dropped over here that pushed up. So that's the area of manipulation, and it's the area of supply, that sell, or rather buy to sell, that buy to sell area over there. So I have that marked out, and expectation is that we're going to get some resistance in this area, possibly for a down move until a specific point at which we will go back up again. With that being said, what's apparent now on this particular daily chart is that we are in a premium of the market, right? We're high on the market, and we can use our little premium to discount tool there. And we can see we're in the top section. So we're looking for possible sells over here. It's not to say that price cannot go deeper. It can absolutely go deeper. However, we're going to wait and let the market show us what it's supposed to be doing. So at this point, what I like to do then is to also mark out the swing points that I have on the daily. So we'll go down, we'll go up, down. None of these cross below, so we keep going higher. We go over here and we go high over there. So I'm going to change this color so we know where we are at. Okay, so now we are in a daily. We marked it out on the daily so that we can get our 4-hour swing projections, right? Our 4-hour swing projections. So we'll just correct it there. And now at this moment, we know that that's our last high over there. And this is our last low. And this gives us our 4-hour range, right? 4-hour range. If you're listening to this video at the moment, I'd like you to subscribe and to like this video. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm, but also it makes us put out more videos such as this. I am noticing that the technical analysis videos get a little bit more runtime in YouTube, and it gives us a little bit more exposure. So I'm putting out more of these type of videos for you. And if you show your appreciation with liking and subscribing and even commenting, especially if you are one of our students, please guys, let's comment on these videos as well. If you are doing that, then I'll put out more such videos, right? Okay. So let's kind of look. Price is coming in over there. Our last area of demand would be this area over here, right? So if we see that break and then we can look for shorts, right? If we see that break, we can kind of look for shorts from that point onwards, and we'll look for shorts, and then we'll also discuss how we could have gotten longs. Now again, now that I'm on the 4-hour inside of this leg, I'll do some more swing points for myself. That's a high, that's a low, that's a high, right? So we've also got a range in here from that low to that high, gives us an indication that discount starts over here, right? That's where discount starts. Now for me, if discount starts over there, I am looking somewhere in this range here at the bottom for a possible area, because it's below that discount. This one's right on the discount for an area that might get the buy. And that's kind of how I was looking at it for the morning, right? This one needs to break if I'm going to look for a short. And if I'm going to look for a long, I'm going to look inside of here. I'm not going to look in this one because that's not part of that 4-hour range, right? Okay, so then I'll go over to my trusty 15-minute. And now I must admit we were not. As you can see, what has happened now is my lines has disappeared. And the reason that does that is I have set it to go off when I come to minutes, so it doesn't clutter the chart, because now I've got my zones on, right? The areas that I want to trade from, I've got it on. So I don't need to have it all over the charts at this particular point. So when we came here, that was not when I wasn't awake or anything to actually take a trade there. And so I'm not going to classify that, but I'll show you where we could have gotten that short for when we were actually awake, right? And where London session would have started. So London session would have been somewhere here. So after this line, we'd look for a trade. So price, we were still sleeping at that point. And then obviously once we came to the market, we had already moved quite a bit lower, right? Quite a bit lower. I think we chopped around here for a bit as well. I'm going to show you what we would have done over here once London opens. Right, and I think it's actually right at this open. Okay. So first things first, we know that we want to be a seller from this area, but we've got this imbalance over here, so we're not sure whether or not price is actually going to go up. Now I want to remind you all of something I've taught you, right? And I'm not going to go into detail, but I want to show you these areas of value so that you know what I'm speaking about, right? And so when we look at this over here, we see that price is making that same pattern, and at least from this perspective, we've gone into the bottom one. Right, we've gone into the bottom one. Let me remove this for a moment and we kind of look at what is played out over here, right? So we've gone into that bottom one, and price is playing around there at the moment until the market actually opens. This is the 15-minute. What one could have done is go down to the 5-minute and then looked at the 5-minute and seen this over here. Let me remove this as well. Now that we're on the 5-minute, in the time frame that we want to be trading, we've seen there was a stop, there was a break, and we really had two zones. This one was taken already through this, so the only one left over was this one over here, right? And I think we actually tapped into it right before the actual open, so it looks like it's gone in over here. Let's just see if we get another tap. I don't think we do. So this might have been a case where, let me see, 2 o'clock. Yeah, I would have missed this one. But nevertheless, if we had put on an order over there, we'd be looking to short it into this region over here. Let's just see what happens. Yep, as thought, price starts to drop. And it comes down. Now, one or two things could have happened here. Either you missed it completely. Okay. Either you missed it completely because you were waiting to get in during London session, or the same thing happened again, right? Have a look here. Stop, break, and then there's a zone left. Right? Price taps in. That could have been the area you saw from. Okay. The really good one was this one over here, right? We've now gone into discount. And so we're now sitting on our 15-minute. So really this is an epic trade. And so we're looking for price to give us that indication that it wants to turn, right? And so price keeps going, chopping around over there. We don't have the criteria just yet. Goes lower. Okay, now this is good. It's good because what do we have? Watch this. You know what? I'm going to take this one on the 1 minute. We have the stop. And we are looking to break over here, right? Watch this. Okay, we have the break. We have the liquidity. And we have the zone. You guys know what I'm talking about. For those of you who are part of the academy, for those of you who trade supply and demand, you will also understand what this is about, right? So now I'm going to try and take this one off the 1 minute. Let's have a look. Let's see. Once price comes back into this green area, and I'm not worried about these ones above, but once price comes back into the green area, I'm going to kind of look for a trade from that perspective. So let's have a look what happens. Okay, we're in. All right. It has to give us that criteria. Okay. So now that we've come in, let's see if we got it clearly. That is a stop, right? That's a break. This little zone over here would be our first long. Well, our only long, if it works. And we're looking to take it back up through that particular area, but at least till here, till this high that brought us to low as a minimum. Okay, so let's see what happens. Boom, we get stopped out, right? So that's -1. It happens. Let's see what happens further. Play it out. This is why you got to stick to your higher time frame buys and you got to know what's supposed to happen, especially if you're trading lower time frames, right? Okay, still don't have the criteria because the area that we need to break is really this area. I'm going to pull this actual tool over a little bit so you can see it better. Okay. So let's draw that on quickly. Pull this one back as well. Let's draw that on as an area that we need to break. And let's kind of see what happens from here. Okay, we've broken over there. Right, we've broken it over there. So the 2 zones you have left is, or rather the 3 zones. You know what? Again, students, watch this. Same thing. There's a low. There's a high. Right, and now we're looking at price to go beyond that, which it is. And technically, we're looking for it to tap back and go up. Right, that's the criteria. So that can either happen immediately, like right now. Over here, let's draw out the zone. And then we've also got lower down this area over here, which we will take should price get there. Right? Should price get there. But for now, we've got one stop out. And we're taking another potential trade to go back to that same area. So let's see what price does. Okay, it moves quite aggressively away. We're not going to change our bias. We're going to stick to that. Right, because this is the only valid area we have at the moment. Because that's where the stop, break, and the re-entry takes place. So at this point, we have to just wait. Okay, price is gone. Up all the way over there. Let's have a look. We still don't have any new stops and breaks, so we'll hold that on. Okay, Here we go. Wow. That's epic. Goes back into the bottom. That will be where our zone would be, right on that edge. And so we're going to trust it now to either go up or come lower into this zone and then go up. Right, let's just play it out for a moment. Okay. Okay, here we go. It's moving. It's a bit choppy, but it's moving. Now at this point, you should have taken some off already. Bang. Okay. Hits our target, and that becomes a 6-to-1 trade. So as you can see, the system plays out provided that this whole thing was framed on the idea that we have entered into a larger 4-hour zone. We then waited for our lower time frame, such as our 15-minute or 5, to confirm direction over there. We didn't need to get in over here. We didn't need to take the whole run. We wait and we are patient and allow these things to play out so that we can get the trade. Right? And so as you can see, that is the shape I taught you guys in the last class. And that's the first area of value. We have 2 more areas of value below. And we have that entry. Right? We have the entry and now it's going up. And why are we going up? Because overly on the daily, right, we are still bullish. We're putting in higher highs and higher lows. And until that is incorrected or until that turns around, we're going to stay on that side of the market. We understand that when we look at time frames such as the 15-minute and that, those are confluence time frames telling us what direction price is going to take in session. We don't consider them to be reversals. I just wanted to see how far it actually ends up going, or does it pull back? Wow, this would have been a really good trade all the way up. Well, I took some of it, but I didn't get that far as to where it is now. Okay, wow, even higher. So this was the end, my target at that particular point for today's session. And so yeah, that's been the trade recap, and I hope you guys find some value in that. And if you slow it down and watch it a couple of times, perhaps you will see some interesting facts. For those of you who were in the last class with us, you will especially notice, and that was on Memorial Day, you will especially notice some of those things that we spoke about when you were marking out your charts. That particular U-shape, that entry, that's literally what gave us that entry today. So with a little bit of patience and just trusting the actual process, you'll see the results. With that being said, it's been Coach Chadwin. This has been KDT, Mindset, Multiplication, and Management. I trust that you guys will stay blessed, stay humble, and stay productive and purposeful, right? See you in class soon. For those of you on YouTube, don't forget to like, to comment, and subscribe. We trust and appreciate your time. Also, if you stayed until the end, you want to be clicking on our website link below. We've got a wealth challenge and it's free, absolutely free to join. You want to look at that and join us in that. It's coming in about 2 to 3 weeks and we're going to have an amazing time. So please join us on that wealth challenge. It's been Coach Chadwin, Mindset, Multiplication, and Management.